let's move on to number 3. This is the tiniest stock of the 3 we're talking about. It is Fulgent Genetics, $3 billion market cap. It's a genetic testing company that offers more than 18,000 single gene tests and more than 800 tests for rare diseases. They also do whole genome sequencing. Stock is up almost 600% over the past year. It's especially run up since January. Can you tell us a couple of good things or green flags with Fulgent Genetics?
Yeah, I'm impressed with their management. They have a very smart CEO, founder CEO. They're almost all. I think it's both a positive and a negative. Is almost all of their revenue right now is COVID-19 related. So I mean, they have a COVID-19 at-home test, which is a very strong revenue growth driver right now, where you can test at home for COVID, and it's. The testing is very important because you can have symptoms, you can have a hacking cough and you don't know, do I have COVID or do I have a cold? You can have a fever and you don't know, do I have a flu or do I have COVID? I mean, so there people want to know what they have, and Fulgent's tests are very high end. These are very specific and very good genetic tests. So it's not just a nasal swab. I mean, this is a very high-end diagnostic test and very reliable diagnostic test. But of these 3 companies that we named, I think Fulgent is the most likely to have a bit of a near-term hit. And we don't know if the vaccination, if it's going to wipe out COVID, one and done. That would be wonderful. I don't think it's going to happen. Or if it's going to be an ongoing thing that we vaccinate every year. If it's an ongoing thing, if we have to do this again next year and the year after and the year after, Fulgent's going to be an amazing stock, and they're going to do really well. Just on COVID, they're going to do really well. But I'm hopeful if we eliminate COVID-19, then the near term, Fulgent's going to take a big hit because almost all their revenues are coming from COVID right now. I mean, they shifted to COVID, and it just jumped their revenues. So that's kind of why I like their CEO so much. I mean, he was able to make that shift. I mean, they do diagnostics for things like cancer. I mean, they have a widespread diagnostic program, and they're doing a lot of genetic testing across the board. I mean, they're a very diverse company in terms of their capabilities, but right now all their revenues are COVID related. So it's extremely a COVID stock. Their numbers are incredible. I mean, they have incredible revenue growth. They have incredible profit margins. I mean, they're just printing money right now. And there's
if you look at what they were doing before COVID, that might be a little bit of a hint for what it could look like down the road. And I'll just mention in the first quarter of 2020, before the pandemic was, truly a pandemic in the US, its revenue is up 44% year over year, mostly on testing volume. So they're increasing their volume. Of course, now, like you said, with COVID, third quarter revenue was up 880%. So huge difference, but they were still chugging along in their main business before the pandemic.